Hello, everyone. It's your favorite English tutor here at Preply. I am right now in Norobetsu, Japan, and I just wanted to update you on my first week being an English tutor on Preply. The last video I made was about a gentleman that I had a trial with, and I already explained how that session was. And as I mentioned in my last video, I had a 3-year-old that I was going to start being a tutor to. Let me tell you, it has been a little bit of an experience and a learning curve. As you probably can understand, at 3 years old, all you want to do is have fun and play. And unless it's watching a cartoon that you really like, getting that engagement or that buy-in from the 3-year-old, I found to be a little bit challenging. However, what was great was that mom and dad were both there by her side. So I was able to really lean on the parents to make a positive learning environment for them, which I know will translate to their child. I've had officially about 2 lessons with her, and each time I've had a lesson with her, I always check in with the parents, tell me how was her engagement, give me some feedback, and tailoring the sessions appropriately. It's really amazing how, as I foresee the future of teaching, especially children, we're going to go more toward technology based learning and developing the natural play and engagement skills that I feel like really develop a person as a whole. I think it's lacking in the virtual world. So I'm really curious about how that's going to affect these next upcoming generations who are pretty much going to grow up with technology in their crib. Um, so yes, that was an experience. I've also had a couple of trials with some other individuals. They were adults, and I had fun. I really feel like what's most important is just develop a genuine connection with someone. I had a person from Vietnam who is a doctor who just wanted to sound more native. And immediately hearing him speak, I could tell that because his native language kind of has that choppy, robotic sound. If he had a little bit more flow and rhythm, that would be helpful. So I told him, all right, well, our next lesson together, you're going to sing a song. Because the idea is you want to loosen up when you're speaking. You want it to naturally flow from one word to the next to the next. Some languages um, for example, Spanish. Yes, if you go to Colombia, there make sure to pronounce every single syllable, but then you go to a place like Dominican Republic or Puerto Rico, and then you start hearing certain words or syllables or sounds get cut off or blended together. And there's nothing wrong with that. It's a dialect. And I think making sure you understand and embrace your a dialect, whether if you're speaking multiple languages, is a healthy transition into learning a new language. The next individual that I had a trial with, he's from Brazil, and I'm like, how can I help? And he was basically like, listen, I'm from Brazil. I live in the United States, but I pretty much work with Latin people and Brazilians. So I don't have that much exposure or time to develop relationships in my community. And I don't even feel confident going to my neighbor's house and introducing myself. So after we were speaking, and I did a couple of role playing with him. I also did some reading out loud just to kind of hear some nuances and a little bit of his speech. And the thing I told him, like, listen, some languages have a very assertive or aggressive tone, right? Listen, Latin people, Brazilians, Russians, Germans, they speak naturally like if they're like, you want to fight me? Like, don't mess with me. But we know that that's not the context of what someone actually is saying. It's just sometimes it can sound that way, especially to other languages or dialects where there's a little bit more softness. So I told him, I'm like, listen, just speak like if you're in a library. And immediately there was a difference in how he was communicating. He actually had to take a break and go back to his like normal tone to just feel more comfortable. But it was just so amazing how sometimes it's not even what you're saying. Like there's not really a difference between how are you doing, or those small little grammatical um, situations. What really is more important is how to read a room, how to navigate social structures. So, for example, an example I told to him was, when you're at the grocery store, go compliment someone. And I was like, just make sure, if you're with your wife, that you can approach a girl or, okay, don't listen to me. But I was trying to get the idea of you just need to put yourself out there. And for example, when we did like a little bit of a role playing with his neighbor, I'm like, pretend I'm your neighbor. And he was like, he started saying like, hello, how are you doing? And I'm like, whoa, whoa, whoa. Like, I don't know you and you're knocking on my door. How you should be approaching the situation is, hello, my name is blank. I live right next door. I just wanted to introduce myself. And if you need anything, just know that my door is right there. And just start developing that relationship. So we had a really great first session, and I'm looking forward to working with him. But I told him, I'm like, listen, your main problem isn't getting better at English. Your main problem is making time to make connections out in your community, whether if that's joining a CrossFit gym, whether if that's putting your children in karate and networking with the parents or building relationships with the parents. Of course, assuming that the children want to go into karate, but you understand what I'm trying to say. And that is how you're going to make your goal happen. Now, if you want to continue having lessons with me because you find that you're progressing in ways that you are really appreciating, then yeah, let's keep having sessions, as many as you would like. But I'm someone that I just want to be honest, I want to be real. So I'm like, if I was in your shoes, we could do like maybe a month doing a cadence. So like first week, 3 times a week, next week, twice, the following week, 1 time a week, and then 1 week off. Or it can be like 2 times in 1 week, every other week. So like bi-weekly meetings. And we can talk about a variety of subjects to kind of start expanding your ability to communicate. So yeah, that was that. I really don't have anything else to kind of update you with. The next video I should be doing is my own Spanish language journey and updating you on that. So once I get some downtime, which is pretty much all the time, I will make sure to do that video. Might as well just try getting it done today. Other than that, thank you everyone for joining my little update on my first week as a Preply tutor. I made $3.35. Ooh. I already have a plan on how I am going to progress in in Preply. So my main goal is to work on just getting as many reviews as possible within the next 3 months, and then evaluating how many hours I was able to do, because the more hours you work in Preply, the less commission they Preply gets or takes, pretty much takes. So yeah, my goal is to try to hit 200 hours within the next three months, or 50 reviews, and then from there I'll go ahead and update my pricing to fit more of what I feel like the value that I'm worth. Do I actually have someone live right now with me? I have no idea. This is my first time using uh, YouTube. Well, not really, but I don't really play around on here. Anyway, I can't really tell. We're pretty much done from here. Thank you so much for joining my journey, and see you next time.